I'm Jenny Lynn.
And I'm Jen.
And we're in high conflict hell. Let's try and make it more casual conversation, like just the two of us. High conflict parenting situation. I'm not even going to bother to explain what that is because if you know, you know. And I'm sorry that you know. But let's make sure you're in the right place.
You're in the right place if you're being gaslit to think you don't understand the very easy to follow parenting plan.
You're in the right place if you're reading the parenting plan like it's the scripture.
You're in the right place if you constantly think that the next text message will be about the parenting plan.
You're in the right place if you talk about the parenting plan more than you talk about your kids. You're in the wrong place if you have not related to a single thing that's been said so far.
You're in the wrong place if you didn't have Zoloft for breakfast.
You're in the wrong place if you limited yourself to 1 cup of coffee because your anxiety was already climbing.
Oh, it's awful.
I mean, what are we talking about today?
Healing, or maybe not healing,
Okay.
and how this relates to custody issues, parenting plan, and otherwise just high conflict hell.
Right. Okay, Jen.
Yes.
Do you feel like you're healing or healed?
Strangely, I feel like some aspects of me are healed.
And healed from what? Because there's so much.
Yeah. I'm finding a lot of healing around my own childhood, knowing that I'm willing to show up in ways consistently every day that people were not for me when their situation was not so dire
Right.
around custody.
Right? Because it's not just that you're going through a high conflict situation with kids. And so you're experiencing some of the toxic behaviors that maybe you experienced in a romantic relationship. And then you're also parenting kids where you're reliving some of your childhood things that maybe were a big issue, maybe were a small issue, but you're still reliving them. So when you're going through something like this, it's like you're reliving two of the most probably traumatic things that have happened to you, whether it's something from childhood or something from a divorce, at the same time.
Yeah. And I think that's what all of our listeners and us are constant.
Wait, are there listeners?
It's us.
Did you subscribe? Thanks.
The two is actually us.
Right. We just listen to it over and over to heal ourselves.
Yeah. We're just trying to heal our inner child. That's the hot topic. That's the hot button that we're all doing right now. And then you add these additional layers in here. You're like, wow, is this good or bad? How do you feel? Jenny Lynn, are you healed? Are you unhealed? Somewhere in the middle? Where are you?
I think I'm somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I think I was lucky that I had a relatively easy childhood. My parents were together. There wasn't any major drug issues or divorce or anything like that. What I don't feel healed from, though, is watching my ex-husband treat or engage in the same dynamics that he engaged in with me.
Yeah.
That I didn't even recognize that those things were happening until now I'm watching them through the eyes of my kids.
Right.
And then it's bringing up memories for me that I either blocked out or didn't remember of kind of the dynamic between the two of us that was so unhealthy.
Yeah.
And that I didn't even have a chance to really address. And probably would have never addressed it if I hadn't gotten divorced and have watched my kids have to engage in these cycles.
As children.
As children. Yeah. As children. So I'm somewhere in the middle. And I had a therapist tell me a few years ago when I was going through the heart of my custody battle, because I kept asking him, like, when do we get to the part where I feel better? When do we get to the part where we start, like, working on moving past these things? And he was like, you're in the middle of the war still. You're still having shots fired against you. And so until you're out of the war, can you not then start healing from the things that have happened? Because your body is still kind of in that fight mode because you don't know what's going to come at you.
Did he not laugh at you?
No, he didn't laugh. No,
wow, very professional. Very professional.
You probably wanted to.
Inside.
But that's all I can, like, especially when I was going through, like, the heart of my custody battle, all I could focus on was wanting to feel better.
Yeah.
Wanting it to be over. Wanting this not to be my day-to-day thought process.
Yeah.
And it's still a huge part of my day-to-day.
Yes, it is.
Not in the same way that it was when I was doing the court.
Yeah.
But
your ex-husband is actively engaged in tormenting you daily. Mine is very weak in his ability to manage or engage in any kind of conflict. And I like to rebrand conflict. Conflict isn't always negative. Conflict arises, and there's conflict you have to work through on a daily basis. He is really not good at any of that. So, work conflict, friend conflict, family conflict, ex-wife conflict. It's not something that he's good at. So now he's just paying someone to do that for him. So I'm not actively engaged with him every day. Sometimes it's coming up, but not regularly.
Yeah, no, does that feel better? I don't know.
No, but you don't get to escape it, is my point.
Yeah.
So that's a part of this person's personality, Jenny Lynn, that you are dealing with.
Yeah.
Until.
Well, and what my ex-husband likes to do is he likes to pick a topic and over and over and over message me about it. And a few years ago, it was me reading to the kids. He didn't think that I read to the kids enough when they were at my house. How would he know, number one, how much I was reading or not reading to the kids? And I'm sorry, if I don't want to read to my kids at night, I'm not going to.
Yeah. They're my kids to not read to.
Well, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted. Yeah. And not to say that I don't read to my kids at night, because I do sometimes, just not all the time.
I think I did it for like 3 years. It's fine.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, they're reading at school. They're clearly reading at your house. Maybe they need a break from reading. Maybe reading is,
no, you're perfect.
Maybe they need too much.
You got this. You read. You read over there. You seem to be.
Anyone want to watch a screen? Your mom's
big, little,
big, little, medium screen. Which screen do we want to watch?
Mobile?
Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want it to turn?
But the amount of messages I got of him saying to me, "You're not reading enough with the kids," and I really try not to respond to messages from him. Number one, if I've already answered it, and number two, if there's nothing I'm going to say except defending myself.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to say to that that's going to make you feel better, ex-husband?
Right.
I read enough with my kids.
Right.
I don't know. I kept a reading log.
Right.
I'm going to read Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then you read Fridays, and we give the kid a break on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is he a person that in your marriage, outside of any like marital conflict or any like negative things, because you guys were very close?
We were very close when we were married.
Is he the kind of person that would ruminate on other things? Is that who he is at his core?
Yes, it is who he is.
So what are some other things that in the most blissful parts of your marriage, if there were any, what kinds of things would he ruminate on?
Well, in a lot of ways, that was the most blissful part of our marriage. He loved to talk. He loved to talk about the same thing over and over. And I mean, the horse is dead. Are we sure? Let's check. Let's talk about it again. I'm sorry. Was there a new piece of information that maybe could add to the story? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
All over again.
Yeah.
So when we were married, and it wasn't about my parenting or me as a person or what I'm doing wrong, and it was just about the situation that happened at the gas station or a work something that came up, I would talk about it all day.
Right.
I can remember my mom coming to me and being like, I don't know how you do it. Because he would disappear for a couple hours. My mom and I would be watching TV. And we'd have a conversation at dinner. He'd disappear, come back, and bring up the same subject all over again like we never discussed it. And she would say to me constantly, it drives me crazy to listen to you guys come to an agreement.
Right.
And then the next time the topic comes up, it's
fresh.
Like you've never talked about it
Fresh
again. And I'm like, that's actually my favorite hobby. That used to be my favorite hobby.
Right.
And it still is with my friends or my girlfriends.
Yeah.
I love the chit chat. I love listening to what's happening in their daily lives and seeing how that affects the next day or what happened to them before. I love that part of life. I call that like the good stuff of life. It's like the candy of life.
You're so good at that.
Well, I don't even know if I'm good at it. I enjoy it. I enjoy listening to what really matters to people and how they think about a topic. And I do think it's why that this podcast is so intriguing to me, like on an emotional level, is because I want to hear that other women are going through this because I know I'm not alone. I know you're not alone, and I know I'm not alone.
Right.
but no one is talking about it. Or if
Right.
they are, it's in very private groups.
Or I think that leads us to our next thing, healing around friendships. How does this high conflict impact friendships? And I think that's what's really hard is because you, Jenny Lynn, you came to me and you were like, this can really shake up friendships. You can lose friendships over it. It's completely unintentional.
Before you started, or right when all this started really hitting the height,
Yeah.
I was telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And me, I can think through things pretty clearly. I can see how those things would happen. I wasn't putting the pieces together to understand how
Well, because
that would
you
happen.
have some really, really solid friendships you've had in your life
Yeah.
for years and years and years.
Mhm.
And that can be a huge plus.
Yeah.
But also very difficult when I know most of the really good, solid friendships that you have, those people are married.
Mhm.
They have kids.
Mhm.
Even if they're a single mom, they might not have been through a divorce.
Yep.
And I didn't want you to go through the same things that I went through when trying to maintain really long-lasting, solid friendships.
Yeah.
While feeling like someone is stabbing you with a knife
Mhm.
and your friend is standing there, maybe saying, "Oh, it looks like a scratch."
Yeah.
Not on purpose, not to be
Right.
mean,
Right.
but just trying to help you in the best way they know how.
Yeah, and I think that as an example, you know this, my sister and I are very, very close and love her so much. Listening to her sit there and look at me after I've read her a text message that is calculated from my ex-husband, that is intentional, that is meant to create some kind of conflict and go, just take it. That actually seemed nice. Why are you upset about that? And my sister and I don't have conflict like that.
Right.
And usually she gets it. I just looked at her and was like, what are you talking about?
Well, not even conflict. She usually just gets it.
Yeah.
When you're talking about a story, she
Yeah.
gets your perspective immediately.
Yes. And her response to me, completely kind, well-intended, set me off because one of the people that gets me the most in life was unable to understand the nuances behind these kinds of situations. And that's just the tip of the iceberg
With the relationships.
with relationships and friendships. And, you know, I've had friends that I've reached out to that are very solid friends, like you said, that kind of laughing about it, not in a negative way, but in like a Jen's so tough.
Right.
Jen can handle anything. This is funny.
Right. Or, haha, I can't believe they're asking you that. Haha, I can't believe they're threatening to send you to jail. That's ridiculous.
Haha, I can't believe they're asking for your Alcoholics Anonymous sign-in sheets.
Right.
Haha, and it is hard to hear those things. And you tried to warn me that those things would happen, and it doesn't settle in until you're experiencing it.
Well, and it's still happening to me.
Right.
For so many years when I was going through the heat of the court system, I couldn't make new friends.
Right.
Because there was no way I was standing outside of school pickup talking about the new playground equipment, talking about the shortage of
Why not?
snacks, right, in the classroom.
Yeah.
I actually couldn't hear it.
Right.
Well, and not even the neutral stuff was fine about, the kids' playground, but, oh, my husband was so annoying this morning.
Yes.
And yes, I think men are in general annoying, especially if they're a husband. They're probably going to be annoying. But it was like, he didn't empty the dishwasher, and here I am. And it's not a comparison, but it just made me feel overwhelmed hearing the types of things that were very much legitimate in their world of complaining about. I complain about those same things too. But when the worst thing that happened to me that day was someone not emptying a dishwasher or doing that, and the worst thing that happened to me that day was the sheriff calling me, I have a hard time engaging with those conversations. So I just shut myself out for so many years.
Yeah.
And now as things have calmed down, of course, new people come into your life, new friendships come in, and some of them are divorced, some of them are single, some of them are married. But number one, I try not to talk about this stuff incessantly.
Do you? I don't. I try to talk about all the time.
But it's a part of my life, too. And it really can affect my day or my week or my schedule or that girl's
Or your
trip
children.
or my, oh, God forbid, it affects my children.
Right.
Recently, I was on a girl's trip and a really high conflict issue came up. It was about my son getting to school. And he was at his dad's house, clearly. And there's an issue with his dad getting him to school on Fridays that he's there every Friday.
Okay.
There's an issue, a standing issue. And it's been asked if he could come to my house and stay at my house on Thursday nights. No.
He's asked, or your ex-husband has asked?
No, my son has
Okay.
asked.
Okay.
And my ex-husband has said no.
Despite this recurrent issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he has the reasons he's telling my son are that your mom's a fox, she's up to something. But he's not giving any legitimate reasons. He's not telling my kid, I love you here on
Right.
Thursday nights. I don't want to miss out on that time. Instead, it's become about me why he can't spend the night
Right.
on Thursday nights so that he can get to school. Newsflash, I don't really enjoy waking up at 6:15.
Really?
Yeah, to then get
Wow.
someone to a bus or a ferry or whatever they need. Like, that's not actually my favorite thing to do. What I really love to do is sleep in. That actually sounds so nice.
Yeah.
And the night before, I would love not to be telling a 15-year-old, hey, time for bed, time for bed, time for bed, put it down. I would love to be binge watching Mormon Wives.
Yeah.
That sounds so much.
Or Hunting
more-
Wives, the Hunting
Wives. I'd love to
Mm.
take just a little, something fun just to
Yeah.
relax my soul
Yeah.
and forget about
Or
all
not
this crap.
learn about a school project that maybe is due the next day that you have to take care of. There's all
Right?
kinds of things that happen
Right?
with children.
Yes. That's what I'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
But the request here doesn't match the reaction. Like, I don't know what you think you're taking away from me or
Right.
what you think I'm doing.
This is a gift.
Right? But the idea that this is doing me a favor, number one, is not actually accurate.
Right.
And number two, get him to school then. So, anyways, the friendship part.
Yeah.
So there was a Thursday night, we were out of town, and my son starts calling me. Dad's not letting me go. Because my boyfriend was home, so he could have gone to my house still. My boyfriend would have gotten up and gotten him to
Your
school.
long-term boyfriend.
Yeah, my long-term boyfriend, almost 6 years, who's happy to give rides, help, whatever.
And is up early already.
Already up early.
Mhm.
He's got a real job. Not like me, I'm a professional podcaster now.
Audio quality is so good.
And he was clearly very upset. And the story that was being relayed to me was that his dad was standing in front of the door, basically. I don't know if he said or the mentality was, get through me if you want to leave. Which,
Like physically blockading your entrance and exit.
yeah,
Okay.
which he would do to me.
Right.
When we were going through a divorce, he used to love to come in while I was in the shower and pick a fight with me, which is so strange now that I think back on it, because you're standing there naked and wet and vulnerable, and someone's standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
As you're standing there naked, dripping wet.
And you love your showers.
My shower.
So it's a way to take away something that you enjoy, especially as I think most, if you're a mom that has ever had young kids, you know that a shower is a place you go to escape for 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like let me weaponize this small bit of enjoyment that you have.
yeah, yeah. And it's so layered, right? And so when I'm on this girls' trip and my son's calling me and telling me this, and I'm talking to him and we're trying to figure out a game plan and what the next steps are or whatever, my girlfriends come and we're kind of chatting about what was happening. And one of them turned to me and was like, I don't understand why you're not just sending an Uber to his house in the morning. Like, you can fix this in a second. I was like, oh, I offered. And believe me, if it was that easy, if all of this was that easy, like all of, not even like my difficult co-parenting, high conflict crap, but if it was just that easy where I would just send a car to his house in the morning, mind you, I'd be paying for it if that's me doing it, which is fine. I'm happy to throw $20 at getting you to school on Fridays every week. So that's $100 a month now that I'd be spending, but happy to. But the bottom line is that this is one of a million issues that are happening where he's not supporting his academics, he's not supporting what happens at school, he's not doing what's best for him when it comes to getting him to school or holding him accountable for
It's
things.
because you didn't read to them enough as children.
I think if
young
I
children.
read more
Yeah, this is your
when
fault.
he was a kid. But it was an innocent comment by my friend.
Right.
And I actually turned to her and I said, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is, well, no, we're trying to help you. I get that you're trying to help me. This is a 7-8 year long story at this point.
That you have now condensed into a singular school drop-off.
Right.
And so I think the other thing that's really hard as powerful, intelligent women that are solution-oriented is even coming from those kinds of women that are like us, aligned with our thoughts and our beliefs.
Yeah.
The thought wasn't, why wouldn't his dad call him an Uber on Friday? It was instead, why don't you just fix this by sending an Uber? And that, I think, becomes really challenging because it's
So hard.
those microaggressions that are completely unintentional, made by the people that we care about the most, that we respect their opinions. And these things come up. And that is one place that you, Jenny Lynn, are very helpful for me, is you understand the nuances only because you've lived it. So when I come to you and I'm frustrated about something that I might present to somebody else as something that was positive, like, my ex-husband showing up at my kids' soccer games, but having issues with me sending the Excel spreadsheet that I created so that it was easy for us to track these things, and it turned into a yelling match because
the Excel soccer sheet you created for soccer.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, the soccer schedule with 3 children, can be really challenging. And so I, for my own good, created an Excel spreadsheet that had the dates, the times, the teams, and the location of the games, so that it was just one-stop shop for it. So you had to dig through your email or go into 2 different apps for it. And so when my ex-husband and I were getting along, for the most part, I sent him this Excel spreadsheet. For the weekends that he has the kids, I thought it would be easier and less stressful for the kids.
Number 78 of unpaid labor of women.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. This is when I was in the wrong place, though. I would have been in the wrong place.
Okay. This is when you would have stumbled upon this podcast and been like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of drama going on.
Right. Why aren't you just being nice? Make him an Excel spreadsheet. What's wrong with you?
Why don't you just calm him down?
Yeah. Right.
Have you tried talking to him?
Yeah. Okay. So 2 of the kids have a game. The twins, they're my 10-year-old twins. They would have been about 8 at the time. And
so 3 kids every other weekend is his regular schedule. So soccer is on his time.
Yes, but this was my weekend.
Okay.
And he, every once in a while, would show up, but not always. And so this was a weekend he was showing up to come watch the soccer games.
Okay.
So we had 1 game for the twins, and a couple hours later would have had a game for the older one, who will be 13 in a month. And I had half the soccer team come to my house after the game. I regularly have lots of kids at my house. So does Jenny Lynn.
I'm going to start making your trophy right now.
Thank you. I am making pasta. So I'm making pasta. I'm trying to wash dishes. The kids are, watching TV, having fun. I can just hear these little giggles that is my dreams are made of. Ha ha.
Look at you.
Poking, having fun. Start getting these raging text messages that say, why won't you tell me where the next game is? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You have an Excel spreadsheet. That's the location of the next game.
Okay, did you remember where the next game was? Did you just were you just trying to be like, hey, look at the place for information, or did you legitimately were you just so busy doing all this stuff
and was like, yeah, you have the Excel
but did you remember where and when the game was?
Yes, because I typically.
But you wanted to maybe encourage him to find the resources instead of relying on you for
I'm busy.
Every piece of information.
Yes, I'm busy, and also not my job, not your mom. Not your girlfriend, not
your
wife.
Because you still responded, so you're not that busy to not respond. Right. But more just like, hey, if I teach you to fish, you'll be able to fish for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Go find where the games are.
Here's the water.
Right.
Grab your fishing pole. And so I start getting call from
your ex-husband.
Yes. And so finally I answer, like, maybe there's an emergency. And he's like, why are you doing this? Why are you being so complicated? He was just saying, I was being difficult. Anyways, I wasn't being kind and just telling him on the phone, it's at this playfield. Because at this point, you're now calling me names.
Yeah.
I have all of these kids over here while I'm enjoying the sound of these children. But most of all is that I am watching me create this childhood that I envisioned for my kids while you are rage texting and calling me. And now I don't want to talk to you. And I'm not responsible for telling you where to go because now you have it in 2 separate emails and 2 separate apps.
Mhm.
And you have this Excel spreadsheet that I provided you.
Well, and in your defense, if you were going to fire off a text message that had date, time, place, the odds of you making a mistake
Right.
during that kind of chaos
Mhm.
is real high.
Yeah.
So even if
And
you
why?
remembered you pulled out your phone, you were sending the text, high odds something would have fumbled there versus when you sat down, created the spreadsheet, double check things.
Mhm.
I'm sure I know you.
And you're a man that's by himself with nothing to do except for call me repeatedly
Right.
while I am doing the opposite of that.
So
Your responsibility.
you're simultaneously healing your own inner child by
Mhm.
doing all these things and having all
Yes.
these kids there and experiencing maybe some toxic traits, to say the
Mhm.
least,
Yep.
from your ex-husband at the
Same
same time.
It's mind fuck. It's an absolute mind fuck. And it's mind blowing.
Well, when you're actively trying to make my life more difficult and hard, like, I don't know if your ex-husband there was, but
Yeah.
for sure I know mine does. Don't you want what's best for the kids?
No.
And that's what I think the answer is, because if you did, being a mom is everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're trying to get under my skin, destroy my mood, be a thorn in my side, and you also know me very well. You were with me, married to me, 15 years we were together, me and my ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a reactor.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten better as I've gotten older and maybe experienced more of this reactive things to react to in a
Right.
condensed way that I've like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at maintaining my external mood when
Right.
chaos is maybe happening inside or in my brain or in my heart. And it's weird because I saw a video of me. It was right before my custody trial. And I was in the kitchen and I was cooking and I was singing, and my boyfriend took it. And we were like joking around because I don't like to cook. And I'm like, it's like seeing an endangered species. We're on vacation and I'm cooking. And I watched the video afterwards and I said to him, I was like, that's so weird. That's how I look, because how I
Yeah.
feel on the inside is
Mhm.
like I'm falling apart.
Right.
Like, and I'm watching this video of me like cooking and dancing and joking around. And I'm the kind of person that were like my internal narrator
Mm-hmm.
has a hard time
Right.
quieting down.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you
Me
have
too.
that?
No. Me too. I
I forgot how all that even came up. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. They love it. All 2 of us. So I had this
And
interesting
maybe your
thing
sister.
at work, and my sister maybe, at work. So work relationships, not necessarily how I interact with people, but I have this personality at work that is very stable, which is not reality, very unbreakable, not reality, kind, bubbly, present, all of these.
Okay, all of those things are a part of you.
Yeah.
They are reality, but they're not all of you.
Right. So I'm at this conference.
Mhm.
I'm away for work. I'm with this group of people that I really enjoy working with, that I really enjoy being around. And I get an email from my ex-husband's lawyer. And I have this like itch that I need to read it. I just need to
Yeah.
read it. I need to read it. And I keep telling myself, no,
So you
don't.
see it pop up on your.
Yet. And I don't. And I keep putting my phone down and I pick it up. I put my phone down and I pick it up. And I start to turn red and I get hot. And I'm just trying to plan my exit out of this function that we're at.
Oh, yeah.
And so people know I'm like, I take 7 hours to say bye to everybody.
Mhm.
I want to rehash everything that we just talked about. I want to make sure that you know that I saw you and I heard you.
Right.
And I loved that you shared the story with me about your child and their basketball team. And
Let's be clear, it's also part of your job.
yeah. And I'm excited about tomorrow. And I
Yep.
can't wait for us to meet up before
Yep.
the conference to go grab breakfast. And so all of these things. And I'm inside just like, this is just trying to figure out how I can get
That
back
was not you
to my
about to have an orgasm.
No, it wasn't,
Okay.
unfortunately.
What was that?
That was a panic attack.
Oh, so close.
So
So
close.
far.
They're the same. They feel the same these days. So I leave. I'm like, bye. I have to go, bye. And it's not me. It's not the kind of departure that I like to have. And I get back to the room, and then full panic attack sets in over an
Mhm.
email that genuinely wasn't even that bad relative to the other emails that I'm receiving from this lawyer from hell.
Right.
And I have to go to work.
Yeah.
I have bills to pay.
Yeah.
And if I can't show up at work the way that I need to, my children then suffer.
Yeah.
And it just becomes this really toxic cycle of a thought process, because I know that this one incident where I'm with both peers and delegates of mine are fine. No one even thought what I did was rude. I removed myself entirely, and I'm
Yeah.
still sitting here thinking about the dynamic of the relationships that I have with people
Yeah.
and how it presents in the
Right.
long-term effects.
Let's be real. That even if someone did notice, they would think about you as a woman differently than they would think of a man who had to exit because of a family issue.
Right.
That's just reality.
A hero,
Like, yep.
a hero or minimum expectation.
Or, oh, she's great, but she's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so even if their initial reaction isn't them thinking about it, those things do affect how your
Right.
work progresses and how your career progresses and how things happen. Even if not on paper, it affects the way people perceive you
Yeah.
at your job. And how
Right.
can it not?
Without any additional context. Just
Mm-mm.
so what about Jenny Lynn, your like romantic relationship? Does this impact you at all?
Oh God, no, this is totally separate. I just keep it in a separate box. And
Compartmentalize.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
go here
yeah.
and you go
Yeah,
here.
yeah. It has
Perfect.
nothing to do with my
Okay.
kids or my
Yeah.
no.
Moving on. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it feel catastrophic, or does it just feel like an additional leg of a relationship you have to navigate? What does it look like for you?
It's complicated, is what I'll say. And when I first started dating Steve, we had filed for divorce, but we hadn't gone through this custody stuff
Mhm.
yet. So I do feel lucky that we were able to kind of form this solidness of a little bit of a solid time period, 6 months, I don't know, before kind of the high conflict stuff really started.
Yeah.
Because I think starting a relationship when you're at the height of it,
Yeah.
it could be really difficult. Actually, I know because I was dating someone before Steve,
Yeah.
and things would come up. It wasn't super high conflict, but I can remember my ex-boyfriend saying to me, "I don't want to hear about your ex-husband, what he's doing at all." And I was like, "But these are my kids." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it's too hard for me to hear." I mean, clearly that was not the person for me because we can't talk about something once.
I've had 17 more times before we're even starting to get past this.
I may have a new thought about this topic and need to start from the beginning.
I might have the same thought about the process and need to start from the beginning.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
And so I am lucky that things were kind of relatively not as high conflict when Steve and I first started dating, but
Yeah.
things would come up, and he's a very good listener. He's a very good shoulder.
Yeah.
I really value and respect his opinion. And so when things did start to move into really high conflict, oh, it was hard,
Yeah.
especially because it was aimed at him as well.
Right.
Like my ex-husband
Yeah.
had a huge beef with our relationship.
I have words for that.
Right?
Therapists have words for that.
Yeah, he threatened to like drive up there and beat him up, and he called him all kinds of names, and
Yeah.
things that I don't know if I would have stuck around for.
No, I
Well,
don't think I would.
I know.
I don't think I
But
would.
have you seen your high conflict parenting situation affect your current romantic relationship?
Yeah. Yeah. I have been with my partner for 3 years, and a couple weeks ago we broke up.
Jen.
It's fine.
No.
It's like pretend breakup. You know, if you're a woman listening to this, you'll know. It's like sometimes
Yeah.
you know
No,
when
I
you're
know.
when you're broken up for good.
Yeah.
This is very intentionally
Some
not
time apart.
Yeah, but also we're too old to call it a break. But also it looks different for me than it does for him. And so he is a wonderful person who is very, very steady. He is very consistent kind of person. And he has been dealing with his own external things for years. His life is coming to a head for him. And what I am dealing with right now has brought up things for him in his childhood and his relationships, looking at his relationship with his ex-wife and maybe ways that he is responsible for things that are very uncomfortable for him. And I feel not lucky. I feel happy that he's willing to share those things openly
Right,
with
talk
me.
about it, how your
Mhm.
experience is maybe bringing up some things, that the way he's handled some things.
Yeah, which is great for you. I don't have that ability to look internally and take responsibility for things. I don't.
Really?
No, I'm terrible. I when I'm
Why
right
am I
about
not
something,
buying this, though?
I'm right
You're such a self-reflective person, but
ahead of time. So by the time I presented my idea, I stand by it. I
so
do
it's
the
hard for
pre-work.
you to look back and
Yeah. And
acknowledge that maybe you didn't handle that right,
yeah.
or
Yeah. A lot of the time.
you'll get better at it as the kids get older.
I think I'm actually just perfect. So I don't know why we're this way.
Wait till the kids get older, and
No,
you'll be
we're
like,
fine.
"Oh,
Yeah, no, I know. And there are things with the kids. Definitely I do that
yeah,
better with kids than I do with my adult relationships. Um but, this high conflict situation is not the reason that he chose to break up with me, but it is a factor in the separation, breakup, whatever we're calling it for now. And that is very hard.
Did he say that to you when he talked to you about taking not a break up?
Breaking up. Yeah. He shared he shared very vulnerably things that have come up for him that I did not
Yeah,
know about.
yeah,
I'm not sure that he knew about them.
yeah,
You know, we sometimes unlock memories in the people that we care about the most by accident.
yeah.
And I mean, you and I have had this where you've been able to reflect on your participation or view on a situation while I'm going through these
Yeah,
things.
oh, for sure.
Like,
Yeah,
we have the weaponized stepmother episode,
yeah.
and we talked a little bit about that. So I think it's unique, and relationships are just so nuanced. So I can feel myself, upset with my sister, who I'm very close with, and we never
Right.
fight. I'm upset with my mom, who was an addict and an alcoholic and abusive. And she is no longer physically abusive.
Why
And
can you share, or do
yeah,
you wanna share why that's upsetting to you?
yeah. So I was raised by my mother and my stepfather, who came into my life when I was almost 3. And there was alcohol, drugs, child abuse, it was a really volatile childhood.
Which meeting you, Jen,
Yeah,
you would never know.
you never
You would
know.
never know.
Thank you. I've worked really hard not to be. I feel
Not
very
that it's even a
lucky.
compliment,
No.
because
Yeah.
you've had to develop such a hard exterior,
Yeah.
so keep going.
Thanks. My biological father, I've only met him a few times. He also addict, alcoholic, all of the things. He's now found Jesus. Um,
Praise be.
praise be, blessed be, blessed be. And I feel very lucky for my upbringing now because it created that tough exterior. I now am willing to work very hard. It's not easy to shake me. It's not easy to throw me off kilter. I am highly driven. I chase success like it's going out of style. But
You and Oprah.
me and Oprah, my mother and my biological father did not have a huge custody battle. It was kind of, she took me. There was a little bit around child support, but outside of that, there wasn't a big
There was no
issue
fight.
around it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm looking at this and going, me, a very good mother,
Mhm.
is in a position where I have to fight for my children
Yeah.
for no good reason.
Because your
And
mother had other issues going on.
yeah, and my biological father wanted nothing to do with me. So that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to swallow, even though I don't feel biologically and psychologically there's something in me that says like, you miss out on this. But I don't feel like that
You don't
externally.
walk around having that as, like,
Why
a
didn't he
core
love
issue.
me?
You're not,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Which is lucky. A lot of
yeah,
people do.
but I do wonder why you wouldn't. why you wouldn't fight for that. And I also am having a lot of trouble grappling with how my mother was able to partake in all of these extracurricular drug and alcohol
Right.
activities.
Not softball.
Yeah, not softball. And I have a relationship with her in the way that I do. It's really hard to understand how me, a good mother, and my ex-husband, present father, are in this situation.
Right.
It
Now
is
someone is accusing you of having a disturbing environment in your home when you know what a disturbing environment is.
Yes.
And this is not it.
Yes. And some of the things that are being asked of me from my ex-husband's lawyer are things that my ex-husband knows about my upbringing. So requesting CPS documentation, having me provide
Of your childhood?
I would imagine, because I think he would know CPS was involved with our children, and he knows that that's never been the case. So one would lead you to believe that
CPS has never been involved
Right.
with you or your kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he knows that CPS was involved regularly when I was a child.
Yeah.
He knows that there was food insecurity and housing insecurity and things like that. He knows about the substance abuse, chemical dependencies. And so now I'm being asked to provide my treatment plan and how I maintain my sobriety.
Right.
And all of these things that
Well, number one, no one asked your mom for her treatment
Right.
plan
Exactly.
or her sobriety plan.
And they should have been asking each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And here you are. Like I said, I rarely see you drink.
Right.
And someone is implying.
Putting it on display.
Yeah, they are heavily, heavily implying
Yeah.
that there's something more.
Yeah. And my ex-husband knows that this is not the case.
Yeah.
And so it is really hurtful. It's making me frustrated with my own parents.
Yeah.
And really upset with my ex-husband, knowing that he is talking to this person he's paying and capitalizing on a very painful childhood.
Yeah.
And that is unforgivable to me.
You really think it's unforgivable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Among the other things that we'll get into in future episodes, I'm sure. This is one of those things.
Okay, isn't it strange, because I feel the same way about the stuff that my ex-husband, not even the story he put out, the things he physically said, did to me.
Right.
Unforgivable. But when I listen to you, I'm like, oh, maybe hold a little bit of space for
Right.
forgiveness. And I'm like, no, like I told my ex-husband there was clearly,
no chance.
But yeah, there's no space there for me to forgive someone who did the physical things he did to me, the physically intimidating, the threatening, the private investigators, I'll sit in front of your house and record you, I'll burn your house. There is no room there for me, for that space of. But I don't know, women do it. Women forgive the father of their kids for all that crap.
Worse.
Do you forgive your mom for all the?
Yes, in a strange way, because there are a lot of things that I forgive her for entirely without having ever been asked for forgiveness. My mom's not apologetic. She also doesn't take accountability for most of the things that she's done.
Oh, apple.
Apple tree. This is really close. Is that I have learned a lot more about her, and you don't become this way for no reason.
You mean like an addict, a drug addict?
Yeah, you turn to alcohol and you turn to drugs because of pain that you cannot manage on your own. And we all have our stories. My mom's story is really hard.
Yeah.
To boil it down very simply, she was very unloved as a child, and an adult by her own mother. And her father died when she was young, and she was very close with him. So any chance that she had at love coming from people that should protect you and love you and help you become a really great person were taken from her.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes I look at things that she did and I'm like, wow, I'm actually really proud that she was able to do anything. But then there are things that I look at, like the physical abuse, and I'm not talking like spankings here and there. I mean, very serious physical abuse that resulted in trials and jail time. And I think I could never do that to my children.
Yeah.
could never do that. And those kinds of things are unforgivable. But she's sitting at my house right now.
Okay. So right? I
Yeah.
know you guys do have a good relationship
Yeah.
now. And I'm not, and it's, okay, this is very selfish on my part, but it has been, because I know your story from your childhood, and it is not easy.
No.
And it involved like you going to court and having to be in a courtroom with your mother and addressing things that are very serious at a very young age. And when you've been saying to me that what's going on now, is the worst thing that has ever happened
Yes.
in that respect, it's, I hate to say it, it's like, it's reassuring to me.
Right.
Like, because this shit feels terrible.
It justifies how you felt for so long.
And kind of still feel in a lot of ways, not as badly, it's not as deep, thanks Lexapro, as it was.
Yeah.
But knowing your story and knowing what you've been through as a child, and then knowing that this custody stuff, when it comes to your kids and what you're being, it is worse.
Yeah. And Jenny Lynn, in my professional life, I'm a very active philanthropist too. I have chosen to be a little bit more open about.
Hit her up on LinkedIn.
I have chosen to be a little bit more open about some of the things, not all of them, but some of the things I've experienced, because I do a lot of philanthropy work in the human services realm. And so being able to connect with the people that you work with allows you the space to share and help more. So I used to tell people all the time, nothing will be hard for me.
Yeah.
Ever again, because I have lived through the hardest time in my life. And if I could just eat my words,
It's
I
all
would.
relative, because legitimately that was, especially as a child, especially as a kid, that is a very difficult thing to go through. And just like when people deal with chronic illness or chronic pain, or it's all relative to what you're experiencing at the moment.
Yeah.
But it does put into perspective the level of hurt and chaos and pain that I felt.
Yeah.
And like I said, still feel on a lot of days and in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That is, I don't know, it's not justified, but it's at least valid.
Yeah.
And why do I need someone else to tell me that it's valid?
Well, and you don't.
I do.
But it's
no, I do.
It's really hard. And you're beautiful. And repeat after me. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am worthy. This shit is hard.
You're awesome. You're amazing. What you're doing is difficult.
It's, and I'm sitting here, and currently I still have majority custody of my children. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed except for someone is paying another person to be mean to me. That is all that has happened so far. Yeah, if we just take it back to brass tacks, nothing has even happened.
Well, okay. And this is why I'm glad we're doing this now, too, because I think your response and what you're feeling for what potentially could happen.
Right.
And what he's saying in some circles, not all circles, that he wants to happen. And the anxiety and the waiting of a situation. This is your brain telling you, oh, you need to fight here. They're asking for a guardian ad litem. They're asking for you to be held in contempt of court. Not, I mean, 2 times I've read you're going to go to jail for a missed weekend or a pickup that didn't even happen.
Right.
That is your reaction. Yes, in your day-to-day life with the kids and the schedule, it hasn't changed. But your day-to-day life has been impacted because they're telling you, we're coming for you.
Yeah. And the hardest part, I think, is navigating the relationship with my children. I don't know if you feel like that, but
nope. And once again, that's perfect.
Just perfect.
You should start making my trophy.
I know. I will. I think for me, it is very important to me to ensure that my children don't have an impacted childhood because of this. And that's not real.
It's not.
That is not real.
It's not.
And I'm also, and this is normal, I think this is not normal, this is common, that a lawyer and the other person will sit here and tell you your children shouldn't know about these things.
Yeah.
You're a bad person. They should have no idea what's going on. Why are you telling them anything when that's not the reality of how these things impact our children?
Right.
And my children are not 2. My children are 10, 10, and 13.
Well, and your children are the ones going into therapy appointments
Right.
with the other party.
Right.
This behavior is not isolated.
Right. And my children are going over to their father's house and being asked by the other children in this house, are you safe at home?
Right.
What happened? Is your mom ever unsafe? What's your mom's house like?
Right.
And so I'm being told, make sure the kids don't know anything. What's wrong with you? This is disturbing. This is emotionally volatile. When I'm trying to make sure that my children feel cared for and loved and get to play with their friends and have people over. And
Your oldest child had court paperwork by a server
thrown
at her feet.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that they're going to be in
Removed.
a bubble, completely removed.
Yeah.
And realistically, how is that supposed to work when they are the center of quote unquote this high conflict?
Right.
I don't actually think that it's about the kids. Anytime you're in kind of this high conflict situation, it's really not about the kids, which I do think is why it's easy for us to sit here and talk about high conflict parenting without even saying our kids' names.
Right.
Because it's really not about them.
Right.
It's about the adult relationships that happen and then how it affects them.
Yeah.
And they're just the innocent bystanders of this
heated
conflict.
conflict.
Yeah.
What about your relationship with your kids? How did you feel about that when you were at the height of everything going on, and how do you feel now?
Well, the hardest part of all of this is not only my relationship with them, but also their dad's relationship with them. And it's layered. It's not just one singular issue. The part that I personally have a hard time with is that they were around and they saw and heard a lot of this really threatening behavior towards me as a person, as a human being. And I want them to have a great relationship with their dad. I want them to love him and to think that he's the best thing in the world. I would love to be able to magically separate the father he is to them from the ex-husband he is to me.
Right.
Guess what? Some of the same behaviors he does to me are the same behaviors I'm seeing towards them.
Right.
And I also don't want them to be conditioned at an early age that this is what a healthy relationship looks like.
This is even acceptable.
Right. When you tell someone, hey, you're not happy with the way your life is looking and you don't like this schedule, and their response to you is, I'm going to get a kitty, and not validating, discussing, exploring other options. Yeah, that's harmful behavior. And no, it's not someone breaking your nose or beating you or doing the physical things that are clearly very bad for children. But I don't want, especially my girls, to grow up and to enter a partnership, a romantic relationship where that's what they think love is.
Right.
I don't want that for them.
Yeah.
So how do I talk to them about those behaviors without talking about any of this?
Yeah.
You tell me. Can you tell me how to do that, actually?
No.
Please.
And I have this really strange, so I've shared now about, there's physical abuse in my home growing up, and comes with that always comes emotional abuse. You don't have one without the other. And I've always said to people is that I prefer physical abuse to emotional abuse.
Jen.
And that's crazy because you should never, right? But I think that
You're not the only person who thinks that.
Right. Physical abuse, it goes away. The bruises, they fade. The pain, it goes away. Emotional abuse sticks with you. And I think especially with girls and women, not always, men face this too, but that sticks with you forever. And sometimes in ways that you don't know until it's brought up again. And so I really struggle with that because I'm watching the same thing happen with my own children, watching my oldest child go to therapy with her father and watching him have the same exact behaviors towards her that he had toward me. When I thought that me divorcing him was removing my children's exposure to those kinds of behaviors.
Right, because the issue is you.
I thought so. Don't we all think that? And it's so interesting. I watched him do something to her, mumbling, posturing, and aggressive language toward her that he swears he didn't even notice. And when we
In the therapy
in
room?
therapy, and she called it out to him,
Oh,
and
the therapist.
and then our child talked about it and how he always does this, and he refused to accept that that was truth. He refused to accept that he even did the behavior that we all just watched.
Mhm.
And we left, and I looked at her and I go, "Hey, sweetie, that wasn't towards you. I want you to know that was towards me." And she looked at me and she goes, "No, Mom, that was towards me. And he does that all the time." And I had this moment of, I guess I do have self-reflection abilities. I was like, wait a minute. I think internally, to protect her, I wanted to convince her that it was towards me.
Right.
But I genuinely thought that it was towards me because he always did that. I've never seen him do that to our kids because I left before they were old enough for him to do things like that.
Right.
So now I'm learning that for the past 7 years, he's been doing those things to them.
Right.
So did I actually protect them?
Well, and what exactly are we protecting them from?
Right.
I mean, yes, preserving their innocence, and we're protecting them from the person who they will eventually realize. And that's what I realized too, was that I can't protect them when I'm not even there half the
Right.
time. 50-50.
Right.
I mean, and you, I guess, will always kick at least for me, I'm kicking myself
Mm-hmm.
for all of this, and them having to realize at an early age that, yeah, your dad didn't get you a Christmas tree this year, even though he has you on Christmas. I'm sorry. I wish he didn't think it was funny to give you a grapefruit spoon for Christmas as your main present. Like that, those are very dismissive
Mm-hmm.
behaviors that when it was my birthday and he was giving me a box of pens, I thought I just didn't have a good enough sense of humor. I take everything personally.
Right.
I'm reactional.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm watching my kid get a box of pens for their birthday
Like, wait a minute. If I were there,
and be upset
I
about
could have got
it.
them the big Barbie house.
Well,
if I was there, they would have a tree.
yeah. Well, it's I'm not protecting them from anything. This is who he is.
Right.
He's the kind of person who likes to dismiss other people's accomplishments or celebrations or birthdays, and I can't. I'm not gonna. I mean, my new favorite thing to reply to him is, "You should really explore that in therapy.
Right.
You should really go to." I mean, I don't think he's ever been to therapy, at least not that I know of.
Clearly.
But based on his comments to me about therapy still to this day with our kids. But you need to go figure this out on your own.
Right.
This is not something I'm going to be able to explain to you on our family wizard over 17 messages. And my consistent reply now is,
yeah,
that would be good to talk to a therapist about. Can you explain to me why that? Can you explain? No, I actually can't. I tried to for 15 years, and there's
we're
no,
in the
I
same
can't.
starting space.
No, like there's, if I thought I could explain it to you and you would get it, maybe we'd still be married.
Yeah.
But
right. I did that for a while. You did too, I think.
What? Explain things?
Yeah, thinking we could get through to them.
Oh, yeah, especially even after our divorce. The parenting plan. Can you give me a copy of the parenting plan?
Yeah.
I was scrolling through old screenshots yesterday, something completely unrelated, and I found a couple.
Why'd you do that?
Right? A couple of screenshots from early on when my ex-husband and I split up, and it was, what did we decide on this week? What again was the schedule for this week?
Right.
But over and over and over. I'm like, I mean, he does like to smoke a lot of weed, but and that's not defamatory. That's fact.
Yeah. Defactatory. Okay. I think that's relationships. Yeah. Yeah. I think we should talk about not the worst thing that happened to you this week.
Okay.
What do you have?
Oh my gosh. Well, not the worst thing that happened to me today. I was burned by oil. I was making meatballs. Burned by oil. And I forgot the breadcrumbs in the meatballs. Both are not the worst thing that happened to me.
Really annoying.
Today. Very annoying. Sick kid home yesterday. Was she really sick? Well, that's in the air.
Yeah.
Not the worst thing. My boyfriend's away for work for a couple days, so I'm just solo, which I love it when it's just me and my kids also. Love him, but when it's just me and the kids, it's nice.
He feels the same way, I'm sure.
I would want a fucking break from this.
Yeah.
I mean, sign me up.
Right.
Take me to jail. Give me the all-inclusive break. Watch my kids. Serve me 3 meals a day.
Give me a couple months and I'll let you know how it
Let
feels.
me find my lesbian lover of my dreams.
He'll read books.
I want to find mommy.
Mommy.
So I'm
That's
done with
Thomas and
daddy.
mommy. Mommy,
Yeah.
mommy.
We'll make a
That's
jail
funny.
family.
Speaking of jail, my mom taught us how to curl our hair for trial when you're in jail. Just so if anybody wants to know that, we can have her on as a special guest in the future.
Oh,
She'll
yeah.
walk
She's
you
got some
through.
good jail tips.
She really has some good jail tips.
Eyeshadow, curling the hair.
She was in jail for beating me. It's funny. She'll laugh.
What's not the worst thing that's happened
not
to
the
you
worst thing
this
that's
week?
happened to me this week. Well, still dealing with the boyfriend breakup. That's still not the worst thing that's happened to me this week.
What's the status?
The status is TBD.
Okay.
The status is that
Not to be drowned.
I'm considering
to be determined.
that is to be determined.
Right.
I know, but it's really hard, and it's still not the worst thing that has happened to me this week, which is awful.
Yeah, because that is
Yeah,
not great.
it's really awful. It hurts.
Sorry.
Okay, this week in hell. I have a this week in hell.
Okay, you go first, Jen. This
week in hell. So my ex-husband and I have a large expense that we split for one of our children's schools. And he had a big chaotic fit about it for the first time in years. We've been handling this without any contention or issue for a long time.
Do you want to say what it is?
This school tuition. So she is in
Okay.
private school.
Okay.
And we have a remainder balance for the year that is split up over months. So it's on an auto payment. And he went in there and did something to it after this big fit. I don't know what it is, but the full amount came out of my account this week.
No.
Yeah. And so he actually, was like, sorry, didn't do anything to fix it. But this
How
week
did
in
he
hell.
know? Because you texted him.
Yeah, because I
Oh, yeah.
received an email confirmation.
Number one.
I didn't even know
for having that kind of money to come out.
I didn't mean to. That's my mortgage payment. So it'll be fixed. But like, it's these kinds of things that on top of all of the other conflict going on, that is the last thing I want to have to communicate with him about.
Yeah.
And why would you do that?
Do you know what he did?
I don't know. Removed the monthly amount from auto pay, I think, so he could go in there and make manual payments. I'm not sure. I don't know the user interface. I don't know how it works. I just know that per my agreement with the school, I had it set up on auto payment, and he was just providing me the funds monthly.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right.
So that was my this week in hell. That's a lot of money to just be coming out of my account willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Hey, what about you?
Well, this week in hell, I've been not having the easiest week with.
Really?
I know. Surprise.
Because of the meatballs? The
Yeah.
meatballs.
Despite the oil on my arm and my face, a thing hit me in the head. My oldest he's just not.
How old is he?
He's 15.
Okay.
And he's not happy going back and forth. All this bounce around schedule. 5-2-2 split is really hard once the kids get older.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very respectful and very polite kid.
Yeah,
I do. I feel very lucky.
Sweetheart.
Yes. But this week, my boyfriend was out of town for work for a bunch of days, and my mom's on a big birthday trip. And so it really was just me and my kid.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom doesn't live here or anything, but she's constantly on the phone with us. And I do think it keeps people a little bit more in check when they feel like there's some accountability.
Yeah.
And he was not in check with me.
Yeah.
And
your 2 extra safeguards were gone.
Right. And that's actually not the worst part. And I know part of that is just typical 15-year-old boy behavior. I'm trying so hard to raise a boy in this world that, I mean, just by virtue of his presence, he has privilege. He's a white boy. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying so hard to have him acknowledge it, at least, begin to see how he carries himself through this world that matters. And here I am, single mom, and the second no one else is around. As a human being, that I am trying so hard.
You are.
This is my 15-year-long project plan. Like,
you've got more years.
It's probably a 30-year project plan.
Yeah.
Longest term project I've ever done.
It's a science experiment.
Oh, and it is rough for me right now. And knowing, and kind of just like the state of society, like, crap, My
Right.
son's acting like this, and I try so hard
Right.
every single day
There are people that don't try at all.
especially with their boys.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so that has not been that great for
that is
me
hell. Yeah.
this week.
I love that I only have girls because I don't have to deal with that. With our girls, all we have to worry about is them being abducted or raped or,
Sending nudes. Oh,
Yeah.
I talk to my kids about that all the time.
Yeah. Smaller problems.
Right? But I don't feel like I'm doing enough still. I know that there is more that I can be, should be. And I hate the fact, too, that the other half of his example is someone who openly talks shit on Taylor Swift.
Oh, boo.
Right? That she's not that talented, that she's not that great. And whether or not you like her or not,
Right.
I mean, speaks for itself. She sells out stadiums left
You're
and
a
right.
Swiftie.
I am.
I'm going to get us canceled. I don't hate Taylor Swift. Her music, I
Maybe
can
you
listen
should
to it.
Go date my ex-husband.
No, I don't. I could never talk shit about her. I have the
Just-
same feeling about Kim
yeah.
Kardashian when people are like talking shit about her. I'm
Exactly.
like, yeah, say whatever you want. She's rich. Also, what is wrong with you to be talking about people like that?
Right?
I don't get it.
And don't talk about other women like that in front of
Right.
our young girls.
Right.
A successful, talented woman who is clearly standing on
Yeah.
business all the time.
And little girls that like her. Like, why don't yuck my yum? So I
Right.
try really hard not to yuck people's yum with Taylor Swift
Yeah.
because she is clearly very successful, very talented. She's clearly very good at what she does. It's just that her music doesn't want to make me shake enough.
I'm going to forget you said that.
Shake
actually.
it off.
That's-
I just hate that there are going to be so many people that resonate with these things.
But, I mean, that's why we're here.
Come hang out with us.
Come find a new episode every Tuesday. Don't forget.
Like, subscribe, share.
I'll go home. Bye.
See ya. See ya. Bye.
Bye. See you in the phone.